don't close your heart. You know, I'm guilty of this at times when when people cross me or betray me. I have the initial sort of reaction where it's like I'm just gonna close off from everybody and build a wall around everything, and just protect myself from everything because no one can be trusted. No one deserves to be loved. Everybody is the enemy. You feel like that initially, right? But you can't sustain that long term. Because to close off everyone and to kill all your emotions towards everyone, that is death itself. See, the only thing that truly brings people pleasure in life is loving other people and having them love you back. Not the money, not the power, not the status. So when you close yourself off to all of that and you try to be an island, it's like death, right? But it's like you're already a dead man walking. But another level to that I don't hear people talking about is when you're someone who has great information, and I've seen this happen to people, when you have great information, right? But how do I say this? You're not very empathetic to people, right? You're kind of selfish and you hoard things and you're greedy. And you feel like what you have is for you. It's not, right? At the end of the day, even the chosen people, even the awakened people are still servants and they're meant to serve humanity. They're meant to give and create a better tomorrow. You're not meant to hoard information for yourself. And when you have this selfish sort of unempathetic, unapologetic mentality, regardless of how good your information is, the world is going to kick your ass. Because when you rub everybody the wrong way, right? When you try to be this total asshole, it's just, I know everything. Even if you do know everything, right? Even if you know 100% of what you think you know. If you rub every person you cross the wrong way, all you're going to do is build an army of people that hate you and want to see you fall. And I'm not the kind of person that hates anyone. I'm not the kind of person that really wants to see people fall. But you have to have the whole spectrum, right? You have to have a complete understanding, and you have to be sympathetic and empathetic to people who are not on your level yet. You have to give them an opportunity to grow, right? You can't stomp on someone and try to destroy them prematurely because they're not on your level yet. I've always had an understanding of that. The only time I've ever really, shut people out is if they're really just being like a dickhead. But I see people who let things get to their head, and they just, how do I say this? How do I say this? It's like they take out their frustrations on everybody because people aren't on their level, and it's frustrating. Even people who are open-minded, right, and are just like, okay, yeah, I'd like to learn, I'd like to, people who don't even really have it coming are getting punished, right? And then you're putting a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and then you're actually just doing more damage than good for society as a whole, You still have to know how to treat people. No matter what levels you reach, you still have to understand that even the people below you, you're meant to serve them. Like even the people below me, even the people who know less than me, who watch my videos, who buy programs from me, I have an obligation to them. I owe them. I'm responsible for them to a degree, even their well-being. Like if I coach someone, I do everything that I can to make sure I give them the best advice, because if they go out there, and make mistakes that make them suffer, I can't help but feel responsible for that. So I see people who have good information, but they don't really give a fuck about how the people they teach end up, or how what they do makes them feel. And that's just something I've never been able to understand. I've done that in very small circumstances. I've done that in moments of extreme rage, maybe, or extreme feelings of betrayal. But I'll never understand how people can, for their entire lives, just really not care or think about how what they're doing affects other people. Regardless of how smart you are. If your heart is closed off and everything is just cutthroat with you, you're creating more damage than good, regardless of how smart you think you are. And you're just turning into the very person you're trying to destroy. You're turning into the very person you're trying to maybe get out of power, or whatever you're trying to do. Regardless of how much dumber people are than me, regardless of how much less they know, maybe how naive they are, I can't help but feel a sense of responsibility for them. And I feel like everything I was given was just meant to be passed on to them. It's not mine to hoard selfishly. Because the powers that be are more powerful than even the most awakened human. And they can shut you down in a second. So, to develop a God complex, right, you're really just robbing the people you were meant to share with. I remember I remember when I was in military school, we had this sergeant, right? This sergeant, and he used to sell, like, basically in military school, we had to wear these dress shoes, and we had to wear these, military outfits or whatever. And the dress shoes were meant to be passed around for free. Like, they gave extra pairs, right? They had extra pairs of the dress shoes that they were meant to give out for free to the kids who couldn't afford them. And this sergeant got the bright idea because, like, he was in control of that. So they gave him all the dress shoes, right? So metaphorically speaking, let's say it's like they gave him the knowledge, right? And instead of giving those dress shoes out for free to the kids who, like, couldn't afford them or whatever, he would sell them at, like, 2/3 the price that they originally sell for to those kids so he could make a profit. But he was given a position of power to spread that out for free. He wasn't meant to be hoarding them and ridiculously charging for them. And then when they couldn't afford it, he would shun them and banish them and say, don't deal with me. All right, whatever. It's your fucking problem. Fuck you. You've abused a level of power you've been given, and you've become a tyrant because of it, right? And I remember he got fired like a year later after he was pulling this scam. He got fired because it's like, you weren't given that to make you the man. You were given that to pass it down to other people, right? And when people couldn't afford the shoes, which were supposed to be given to them for free, you just banish them and say, fuck you, and you don't offer them any alternative. Even me, like, when people can't afford some of my information, I give them discounts all the time. I give them tons of fucking free information off the records. Even when I do one-on-one consulting calls, someone might pay me for an hour and we end up talking for 3-4 hours. That happens over half the time. And I don't charge them anything. Because I'm here to serve them at the end of the day, right? I'm not, I wasn't given any knowledge that I have so I could be better than anyone. I'm just meant to spread it around, you know what I'm saying? So people who have it think they are just blessed and chosen and they're meant to rule over people and own them. And it's like the powers that be are looking at you like, yo, compared to us, you're still a bitch. Just like the people below you, you feel like they're a bitch. So in this human life, in this human form, there is really no power. There is no superiority. There is no God complex. It's such a fragile physical state of being, and it's very temporary. When I see people with, who are just closed-hearted tyrants, and they just, I don't know, it just really, it just really, I don't know, it doesn't even really enrage me. It just fascinates me, honestly, because it's like you can be taken out so fucking quickly. Like, who do you think you are? I mean, this life is very fragile. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that, man. You know, I really don't understand that.